Lab 6 interrupts. In this lab, we will demonstrate the use of an external interrupt. Note that we still have our flash signal from our previous program. As if I press reset, you can see it flashes. That indicates that the program is running. In this lab, you will take and borrow one of the IC chips, the 7400 NAND gate. You will pop it out from a socket where you find a 7400, and you will place it up here in the circuit. This is going to provide a RS flip-flop to some degree, or a debouncing circuit. Since microcontrollers operate in nanoseconds, it's very important that they be done in only one pulse and no debounce. Also notice that we have a little limit switch, little push button switch. It's connected. But also notice that in order for your supply rails to be available anywhere on the SK10 sockets, we start out with the red. All along here we've got the red jumper, but if we want to use the power rails over here, we have to jumper our 5 volts over to the other side in order to connect our resistors. The same thing with the logic ground. You notice we have it bridged across, and it makes it real nice to have your power rails in the circumference around your particular device so that it saves on wiring and antennas. Basically have the same circuit that we had before, but notice the output of our debounce goes now. You're going to have to make this connection. This wire here is the output of our debounce circuit. It's coming over to RB0, port B bit 0, which is the external interrupt. So if we have the interrupts enabled and it gets an interrupt on that pin, it will go to a certain place in memory for your interrupt service routine. We will now demonstrate the interrupt in accordance with your specification. Your specification, I'll hit the interrupt. You notice I have a certain sequence. If I hit the interrupt again, I have a different sequence. If I hit the interrupt again, I have a different sequence, and it just back off again, depending upon what our count is and the number of times we hit the interrupt. Also notice that we have some input that's going to give us the speed. Here we have 2 inputs, and if I put one up, notice that the speed slows down. If I put the other one up, notice that the speed changes, and if I put them both up,